All right. This is your host of the most of the time here in sunny side Dubai. And, the last couple of days has been quite a busy time with conferences and meetups and, a lot of good social stuff. And which is great. There's a lot of positivity in the air and all that stuff. But you know what? Here at Society X, we want to connect with, some incredible people, incredible individuals who are doing some amazing stuff in the space. And obviously, I had to bring in Pekka Kelka, aka Papa Blockchain. So, it's been a hot minute. It's been a long time. So, Papa Blockchain, welcome.
Thank you so very much. I'm enthusiastic about this opportunity to talk with you here.
Awesome. Thing that I always wanted to get you on the show and, have this conversation. Reason being is I'm actually really interested about you. And definitely, we can talk about, blockchain and the Web3. But you know what? I just want my audience to know a little bit about you, your origin story, how you got into this crazy world of crypto.
Right. Maybe I go a little bit further than that even.
All right.
Because I my online career in 1994, when the first commercial browser was launched, Netscape, beautiful N letter on the right corner of the browser.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the Web 1 all the way to Web 2. And I've been online ever since. But almost 7 years ago, I came across with Ethereum white paper, because I come from the enterprise IT software world of the sector of the IT business. And it was amazing to start to try to understand what this decentralization means, that you can cut out of the unnecessary expensive middlemen from the process. And there's a computer code that will replace the trust. And all these things, permission networks that anybody join and all these kind of things. And I was not so much undergoing at first at all, because of my history of what I've done, enterprise strategies and these kinds of things, and all kinds of mobile applications and so forth for the companies and enterprises. So yeah, that was the kickoff for me. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, I didn't drink much. I researched as much as I can, anything related to decentralization. But on that time, of course, proof of work was the consensus mechanism still on Ethereum. But I like the idea of that. But I started to go to this late 2016, 2017. That picked up quite fast actually here in Dubai. But we have 20 people, 50 people, maybe at the most 100 people, but 90% same faces. That's when something is new, the early adapters are joining, and I was one of these guys. But because I researched so much, instead of being in the audience, I ask crazy questions. I still do, as you know, wherever I'm asking too much.
Hey, I'm a witness. I've seen that. I've seen you, man. I've seen you ask
thank
really
you.
great
But but anyway, I just want to understand more and more about everything about on the scene itself. And I ask my questions, and because of that, I found myself quite soon, actually speaking on stage instead of being in the audience. So that's a true role for me. I want to follow, I want to listen to people and understand what's happening in the scene from those days today and also in the future, because this is developing so fast.
Totally. No, so hey, thank you for sharing that origin story. I think that's pretty cool. And also kind of giving, my folks, what was a glimpse like in Dubai. So, especially with the Web3 or, the crypto scene, like in terms of events and meetups and stuff. But, I want to ask you, what was that aha moment? I like to call this aha moment your conversion story. What was that particular time that really opened your mind and be like, you know what, this is it?
It's how would I put it? You can say that the finding the white paper was this kind of conversion for me to from centralized world, centralized ID business to decentralized anything. But of course, I started to understand more and more. I researched more. Time went by. All kinds of bad things happened also on the scene. Like every new technology, there are some scammers, and the technology is not yet there, and bad actors come to the scene and so forth. It happens on every technology, also with us. But I have this one thesis that I'm saying all the time, that the decentralization is a process, and it can end up in the still like circling thing that sometimes we are getting more decentralized, we're coming back, like TradFi is joining us and all this USA. It's nothing decentralized on those. It's not like gradually decentralization development. It is sometimes going back a little bit, but when going back, there are some foundation level, there are more decentralized happening. So like privacy protocols and these are coming again to the picture, and different sectors, we need to have some sort of decentralization plus the privacy. And that's something that's really, I'm into this now. And especially a couple of technologies that I'm following a lot. I just joined a couple of projects, which are the really hot narratives today. There are RWAs, the real world assets.
Right.
And just very recently, last week, I joined one Deepin, which is a decentralized physical infrastructure project, which is combining the high performance computing decentralized networks and AI. And so this is really
Nice.
interesting. So, but yeah, so that's how I see this. It's like playing ping pong when it comes to decentralization. Sometimes you're winning and sometimes you're losing, but the ball flies all the time. Yeah, and yeah. So, but I'm a big believer in this because this is something that is first time in the history of mankind. I'd say we have opportunity to join the party. If we just educate people to understand the opportunity, tokenization of everything, that you can actually, again, permissionless networks. Permissionless network means, as Marcus, you know, and we know, and people in the scene knows that if you want to join, you don't need to ask any permission from anybody. You position yourself, you buy the tokens, you deposit them on your decentralized wallet, and then you can validate the transactions and be part of the node infrastructure, even if you're a little bit more advanced and so forth. But you will have your role, and you need to have a boss, you need to have a company. Yeah. This is the beauty of what we have here. But then, on the other hand, the world will never be fully decentralized. Nothing will be fully decentralizally because we have certain people who actually, they need services, they need to a centralized organization to provide these services. And then we have one very important part of the world, which is the really rich guys, high network individuals, for example. They just want to buy services. People will serve them and they put money on the table. So that's why I see that the decentralization is to me, for example, how I see this is today, where certain parts of this ecosystem that are really decentralized, and you can be part of that if you want. You can put all your money on your blockchain wallets, for example, and you can have it in there, and you can use it centralized mechanisms, part of your those or full or none of your crypto. It's up to you. You can position yourself as decentralized as you.
That's interesting. I think you kind of answered one of my questions. You know, not coming from a person who's been in the industry, but a person who's outside the industry, like my uncle, my aunt, or some of my folks in church. Like, why does decentralization matter? So I think you kind of covered that actually. Why does it matter to you? And really, really interesting point. So I just want to touch upon narratives, right? Which you've been in the space quite some time. You've seen narratives come and go. You've seen the bulls and bears also. So you mentioned about RWAs. I mean, that's been like the hot narrative right now. I'm not sure about DAOs also coming in. But before we get into that, I want to throw this question on, because you talked about decentralization. So let's talk about DeFi, decentralized finance. What's your take?
I put that on the same position as anything decentralized, because first of all, if you join the decentralized finance platforms as such, some of them are more decentralized, some are less decentralized. For example, you can what is this platform again? XYXD?
Oh, the X.
No, XYXD. Or XY, DY. DYDX, hard letters. But then you think it needs to be decentralized. It needs to be decentralized something. Okay, of course, DYDX, of course, logical. And for example, they don't use automated market makers. They have traditional, almost traditional market making mechanisms which are centralized. But they are one of the biggest decentralized finance platforms. So some of them are more decentralized, some are less decentralized. But one thing is that when you're on these platforms, you need to understand quite much, and it's quite difficult for newbie to join them actually, and there are risks losing your money there. But here comes the thing. What and this is again how the world is going now very fast. I believe that this is a direction. TradFi is joining. Traditional finance is joining us. Big money guys are joining us, and good and bad. But if you think that how some very, very clever guys in our scene how they've understood this. They understood that these guys are joining, and let them join them on our terms as much as possible in our terms. So they will develop these decentralized oracles, different kind of mechanisms to make the processes and transactions as decentralized as possible, and get advantage of decentralized applications on the blockchain ecosystem itself, but still using, for example, the TradFi user UIs and stuff. And this is what's happening now a lot. And I believe that's something that will be, if not on this cycle that's starting now, maybe the next cycle, that we actually have quite home system, which means that the TradFi and DeFi are like one infrastructure, and you can position yourself again the way you want in there. But that's again, I need to admit that I'm a big fan of Jane, who was developing these applications a lot, and they're leading in that sense, and they do such clever moves, that is DeFi is I believe that it's kind of a quiet now when it comes to DeFi, because we had DeFi summer 21. I was 20 2021, and everybody was DeFi those days. But good protocols are there, there, and all these guys, Compound is there, and they're really big platforms. And if you think the idea of DeFi, and that's why, for example, I also believe that why TradFi is interesting in this, because again, they're trustless.
Right.
There are mechanisms that you don't need to go to your banker or anybody central to negotiate the loan. There are clear terms, conditions.
Yeah.
You will put your tokens there, and you get your loan on the smart contract agreement, which means that it's there based on the smart contract written on for everybody the same. Everybody has the same mechanisms. Everybody has the same contracts, same terms and conditions. And that's why, for example, it's a very fast mechanism to get the more money for you if you want to put some collateral in. And of course, over collateral systems are still there. So you need to put more money in to get a little loan. But sometimes people are asking, does it make any sense to go to put the bigger collateral than to get the money out? So but if you understand this system, then it's good for you, because still if you put the collateral in and one day you want to get back again, it's immediately back to you. So this is a very, very clever system, and it's coming soon. It's coming, not maybe soon, but it's coming with full force in 1-2 years, I'd say.
Yeah. I have to, thanks for sharing this. And in many ways, I do love the idea of DeFi, and I can also, and I'm with you. I think I do agree. Like, institutions do want to get into DeFi, sure, there'll be challenges in terms of compliance, financial privacy and all that stuff. But the bigger goal, I think you're right. I think I can see them want to get a piece of the action and stuff. So like in due time, it's going to happen, because if not, the link is also getting involved in this. Even also like, Ripple too. I mean, these guys also are working on some of the remittances, transfer money in countries, crypto payments and all that stuff. So, I'm sure like that there is something happening, but say for example, there are other institutions who might be looking into DeFi. What would be your advice, like to telling these institutions, don't miss out on participating in the DeFi movement? It's not just for small individuals. Even institutions also should participate in DeFi. So I'll love for you to kind of like maybe give your insight or answers why institutions should care about.
First of all, everybody, even any company can use DeFi if they want. But then again, what you file out from your system, that needs to be fiat. So that's the thing. You need to convert that from the beginning, and getting back the money to your system, accounting and bookkeeping, you need to have a fiat money. So that's period. Practically everybody's. There's some exceptions and some jurisdictions, but that's the thing. But you can use it again if you really want to research a little bit. If you need some fast money to some fast cash, whatever, you can do it in minutes, and then the money's in the wallet, and then you can convert that to fiat if you want to do the fiat trading and fiat investment, whatever. So you can have it. That's the fact. But what's really be a major goal for us, and it's happening again, and that's the zero knowledge type of solutions that we are building, which means that will help a lot if we can build this kind of security layer or security service solution for us, that we only reveal that much to the other party that needs to be there, nothing else. For example, if they want to know who I am, I need to have one particular item for them. Other than that, they don't need to know my age, for example. Zero knowledge means that I'm a prover that's my age, and the verifiers, it's okay. That's on blockchain. That's decentralized mechanism. Okay, he's old enough to do things, for example, or he's allowed to do things, but this only one information goes to the other party, and then permission is there. So I'm a verifier. I'm a prover in that. I prove what I'm supposed to prove, and then the other side verifying this, and it happens. If you think that this will put throughout the systems, this is so amazing. So you don't need to put all your passport information, address information, mothers and fathers' birthdays and names. But if this concealed zero knowledge proof will be on decentralized mechanisms and platforms, that's huge, and that will help everybody and everything. Also finance.
I know. Well, no. Thanks for sharing that. I think I know. Is it just me, or like not many people realize how useful and how powerful like this advanced mathematics, right? Zero knowledge proof or homomorphic encryption, like can really change the game. When it comes to DeFi and the concept of money. So I know that's a whole rabbit hole that we'll not get into. But I just want to throw this out there just to like put some truth out there. Get people to like just really think, guys. But let's think about real world assets. Please share some knowledge. Why is such a hot narrative right now? Like why are people so super excited about it?
It went to mainstream media a little bit more than a year ago, approximately a year ago, when Larry Fink CEO of BlackRock said that the next
doubt.
markets will be tokenized, and everybody, what is Big Larry talking? A couple of years back, he said the biggest scam in the world is Bitcoin, and not everything will be tokenized. But we need to understand what he actually meant. He didn't mean the crypto as such. He meant that these assets, these tokens that will asset backed, and that's real world asset mechanism. But one thing is, people are not paying attention what really is happening now, and that's also discussing and the negotiation and also developing the systems, that how many of these platforms will be decentralized, or how many of them will be private chains, which is controlled by centralized organizations still, because you can actually do tokenization on both. But if you exactly they're private chains. They're private chains. Yes, but I believe in the end, when you think of the benefits of decentralization, security, and all these kind of things, what is there, and also they're cheaper infrastructure, because infrastructure is not expensive at all, because everybody can join on the network on these nodes as servers on the nodes and validating transactions. You need to have these expensive mechanisms what we have today. That's why I believe that in the end, the end game will be that all these platforms will be decentralized. And let's believe that when Big Larry predicts something will happen, as we notice on the ETFs, Big Larry predicting that they will get the.
He sounds more like a prophet to me. You know,
it's
like,
fun, yeah.
And it says like and it goes like, you know, I don't know. It sounds very mystical, or
he has a superpower. Some call it money. I don't know, but his superpower maybe money. I don't know, but yeah, he predicted and it happened, and now he's predicting that Ethereum ETF will be there. But back to this tokenization, if you don't, RWAs. When these platforms and quite many of them RWA platforms are using decentralized blockchains instead of private chains, all the validations, you need to have tokens, and tokens are data, and they're security networks. And again, they're alert networks. Right. I like this kind of idea that when BlackRock will launch it can be first centralized private chain, but they will definitely go quite soon. Some of these big layers, layer one platforms, decentralized blockchain, and all the transactions that happen on BlackRock's network, they pay me. If I deposit my tokens on the network, Larry pays me. He's not hiring me, but he pays me. But that's the beauty of it, and that is something that people need to understand. Big money is coming in. We need big money. Let's try to fight and explain why decentralized platforms will be better than decentralized platforms also for this guy. And believe me, they understand the power of money, and they are cheaper to maintain. They're not headaches because it's decentralized and all these kind of things. And what it means to us, Marcos, and what it means to me and everybody. If I happen to own a couple of these tokens, it's Ethereum or Solana or whatever. If I happen to own a couple of these tokens, I deposit them on the blockchain itself. And when Big Larry is doing transactions with its BlackRock, they pay me. Not much, but they pay me.
But look, something better than nothing, right? Because the reason I say that is, look, you've seen Web 1, Web 2, now Web 3 entering in, right? Web 2, I mean, we have no ownership, right? It's pretty much, I would say, owned, but actually technically is more controlled. It's controlled by your FANGs or the MANGs, whatever, Meta, Apple, or Google and Amazon, all that jazz. And, we're just giving all our data for free. But here we have an opportunity, like what you just said right there. I think that's a really powerful statement. And you're right. Honestly, you're the only one who's been saying that. And I'm just like, no one else is saying it. So, but I do believe in humanity that sometimes, there'll be a pivotal moment that people will catch on to the idea of what you're trying to say.
It goes towards like internet today. So we don't actually care so much what's happening on the back end. This transaction stuff goes through, and we can be on the part of this platform. As you pointed out, these big dinosaurs like Amazon and Google and also Meta, Microsoft. But now here comes very, very important thing that I'm researching that a lot now. And that is the AI narrative, because not necessarily web decentralized AI, but AI as a whole. And then we were just invited to one AI panel as part of the audience. They were Meta, Facebook, Microsoft, and G4, which is an AI research consultancy company. And how much they're bragging about everything AI, and they even downplayed the deep AI. As I was like, what am I hearing now? now. But and then Meta analyst from Meta, he mentioned that they will invest quite soon billions of dollars, later tens of billions of dollars, data center infrastructure. And we need to understand what they try to do now. We know that AI narrative is exploding already today and it's accelerating. These guys want to own this infrastructure. But oh boy, what I loved about the news just a little bit more than a week ago. Big title on every media on our end, on our side, when it comes to 3 publications. Solana as one of the biggest layer ones, and Filecoin, which is the on decentralized data storage business. They are integrating.
Yeah.
To me, this is obvious. They want to get the big part of this, what's happening now in AI world. When projects are developing something on AI, it's so expensive infrastructure. The chips, NVIDIA, what's happening there, and AMD and these kind of guys, what's happening there on the chip prices and everything. And then the whole infrastructure, how much computing power they need to have to generate everything like artificial intelligence, and these applications. But now we are awakened. We understand this. And Solana Filecoin combination is the first. And I believe they will attract you don't need to be Web3 decentralized AI project. You can join them as an app project. And this is the beauty of it. Good example how this infrastructure will serve now the big me, especially on the AI part of this is what we do. And then, and I'm happy to say that I just joined recently also the one project, which is called, it's high performance computing chain, HB chain. And they are combining these things like high performance computing, blocks and AI. And we are providing this infrastructure to everybody. So this is coming now. And we need to move fast because this Microsoft and AWS and these guys, they want to buy all the chips there in the world and build the bigger data centers. And they will now when they own Web 2, they practically own Web 2, including Meta and this group of guys. We want to disrupt. We are disruptive technology. We want to disrupt. We want to have a big portion of that. We want to have a maturity of that, but we need to move fast. Solana, excellent move.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. First of all, thank you for sharing that because that's news to me. But now I'm just mentally just visualizing wow. Okay, this is actually quite the game changer because Solana and Filecoin, they're working on this, building this AI infrastructure.
One thing, they are not announcing like the headline was not that this is for the AI. To me, I believe they did this because they understand where the world is going now. And if you want to have the decentralized infrastructure for AI, you need to have the solid, most used, big decentralized data storage network combined with the very full functioning cheap transactions layer 1. And that is the ecosystem that they will attract AI people. And even if they did not announce that yet, they will quite soon, I say.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, okay. This is actually even better then. Okay. No, but because the thing I had in mind is Solana's coin, they're doing this thing. I'm kind of expecting others to also catch wind and be like, hey, let's figure something out. So would that happen? Or I think Solana way ahead. Like they're just going to
there is an event here in I believe it's this private event on Friday, which is kind of Solana technical event, and I got invited to that. And one of the topics that we definitely will talk about there is this Filecoin integration.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm okay. No, definitely would love to follow with you later on, get your take because I'm so glad to have you.
My pleasure.
Not only, for the episode, but also for some of the other events too, because what I love about you is you ask a lot of great questions, get some people to think, but also at the same time too, you don't push it, you just ask great questions and, allow people the opportunity to either they are able to explain it or, I don't know, let me follow up with you later, sometimes we've been to a couple of events where some people just like to, have the egotistical questions, but I love your presence and the way you ask questions. And I wish more people in some of my events could ask, really great questions because I want people to think. I want people to get a better understanding.
Learn. There's one more thing that people saying, what we need to have here, what we need to have in the ecosystem, what we need to have. There are three most important things. Education.
Fair point. But someone asks, but then, say a random person industry asks you, why does education matter? Because for regular Joe and Jane, when they see, because I know some of my friends and church members, like it's too overcomplicated. But I guess they don't need to know the technical stuff, but they just want to know the spirit of why does it matter.
They need to understand why this is important. We don't need to go to a protocol level or anything else. We don't need internet. Do we know what TCP/IP is? So Internet Protocol, Transaction Protocol. Nobody cares. And that actually was the place when internet started to fly, because that was standard transfer protocol. And because when it came there and regulations, then the internet exploded. But but this is what I mean about education. Understand why this is so important. Why this is totally different than anything else we have experienced online so far. So and as we know that what the internet did to communication and messaging and these kind of things, this will do for value. And the value is many things. It's opportunity to be yourself, owning who you are, about your data. That's really the most important thing. By the way, in one conference that I'm speaking in Belgrade last year, April, I started with the question that what is the most important thing that you own? People were answering like my body and my mind and time. I said, right, okay, there's no wrong answer. But the most important thing that you own is you. If you lose your identity, someone else's if you lose your online ID, controlling who you are, what you do online, someone else owns it. And that's the whole idea of this all.
Yeah. Wow. I need some time to marinate on it. That's actually really powerful, man. Really powerful stuff. Because we are so dependent on, on our online activities and stuff. And and of course, hey, identity theft is definitely several $billion industry. Yes. And it's growing fast.
Let's go back to AI. If we have experienced great things now on Web 2, that you go online anywhere and all of a sudden what you were thinking, you got the advertisement on this. So now when AI comes to picture, speed faster and in volumes and everything now, we haven't experienced anything yet. So that's why it's most important now to develop so as fast as possible decentralized options for centralized environment. And it goes on any aspect of our lives, because if we lose these guys who are really developing fast AI, they can control us like nothing. So it's so easy for them to control whatever there is about us. And because everything about us is online practically already today. Do we want to own it? Do we want to have it? Again, do we want to control it? I believe that we should want to control it. And then have this layer, let's own ourselves. I want to own my data. I want to own who I am. And if that's the starting point, then that's the data. That's the value. That is the value what we're talking about when we're saying that Web3, this next version of internet, is transacting the value. It's not just only money. Money is important, but value, most important, is the ID. It's your identities, company's identity. It's anybody's identity who has an identity. Identity ownership. That's the value. Money and identity. This ownership, this internet version, we can have it back to us.
Wow. That's powerful stuff. Man, I know we can go on and on.
With me, yes, with me. I'm so talkative, as you know.
No. Well, one thing I'm going to guarantee you guys is that I'm definitely going to bring him in, because there is so much of incredible alpha and value, like in different segments, because I know you research deeply and, very just absolutely insightful. So I'm definitely, I want to take advantage of
No, this is absolute pleasure to be with you here. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, hey, so before we go, you know what? If other than myself coming to you, getting some alpha, getting some info and mentorship and stuff, how can other people?
Well, I'm on socials. LinkedIn is my major channel. I have tiny channel also with Web3 education channel.
We'll put it in the description below.
So much. Yeah. So I publish twice a week. Yes, but LinkedIn is definitely something that people can reach me out.
Definitely will do that. I'll leave the links in the description below. That's something I think I'm here. But let's end this off with a word of advice from you to your peers, who are looking into the world of crypto, blockchain, and Web3. What would be that one? I know you have many advices, but what would be that one pivotal advice that you want to share to your peers who are looking into entering the Web3 space?
Don't close your thinking. What do you hear now? What you see now? Mainly from the mainstream media. Be open-minded to understand the opportunity. And if you, for example, listen to this podcast later on, I believe you got some tiny little hint of what this can be to everybody.
That's beautiful. Papa Blockchain, thank you so much for joining the show. So, hey, fam, we got to go. So y'all be good. Y'all be safe. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye now.
See you. Bye-bye.